Hey, in this video we're doing the parallax effect as well as the music section with the album covers. So hi, my name is Kevin. If you haven't been following along with this series, I would recommend that you go over to the very first videos in it because we are far along in this one now, where we're going to be looking at the music section and the parallax effect like I just mentioned. So we don't need too much to talk about this one, let's just jump right into it.
So this is what we're going to be building. We have this parallax image in the background here that we're going to do first, and then we're going to follow up with styling our music section here. And this I don't think is going to need too much work. As far as the parallax image that I have that's going to be in the background here, I'm not going to do it as a true parallax effect with JavaScript. I'm just going to use background attachment fixed. If you really want to, I do have other videos that explore adding parallax effects instead. So yeah, we have that. We have to put our background color on this with the drop shadow, and that's about it. I don't think it will take us too long to do. So let's go and check that out. So here's my site. So all that's good. So we want to add our parallax image in here. Now what I think I'm going to do is, so far everything's been on my home.scss file because it's all been stuff for the home page, but I see the parallax as being something that could be used on other pages as well. It's not limited to only this page. So I'm actually going to make a new file, and I'm going to do a save as, and in my components folder, so in my SCSS and then in components, I'm going to call parallax.scss. And again, the idea here is this is a component that can be reused on multiple pages. It's not something that's specific only to the home page. So we'll save that. And then we're going to jump over to our main once this unfreezes. Cool, main, and I want to, in my components, I now have parallax. I'll save that. So that's good. So now we can bring in my parallax effect. So I'm going to go back over to my parallax here, and I'm going to do a dot parallax. The hardest thing here is going to be to figure out how big it needs to be. So it's actually responsive across different screen sizes. So let's just scroll on down here, and here's my parallax, and all I have here is an empty div. There's nothing actually in here, and I want to use a background image, but because this is going to be a component that I do want to be able to use on other pages, I'm going to add parallax home on here. So the parallax will take care of the effect itself, and the parallax home will set it up for my home page. So if I'm going to have my parallax and parallax home. The reason I'm keeping this in my parallax, even though it's specific to my home page, is if I had the main settings here, but this was actually over here, I just don't find that as easy to maintain. I find, I'm coming to the site, I know I need to modify the parallax. I'm assuming it would be in my parallax component. So let's just start off by giving it a background that's pink so I can see what I'm doing. We shouldn't see anything yet because it doesn't have any height or anything like that. I'm gonna give it a height. Because it's an empty div, either we could use padding or height, but I'm gonna give it a height of like, say, 30 VH. So I want it to be linked to the height of my screen. I'm just guessing at the 30 right now. The one thing I want to watch out for is, say, different screen sizes. See, now it gets a little bit bigger at different screen sizes and everything. So say we're on a cell phone, and this is the Galaxy S5. Actually, we're going to have to fix this because that's going to be weird there. But let's go to a larger screen. Actually, that's not terrible. The 30 VH. See, these get bigger at larger screen sizes, so this is overlapping here. That's not ideal. So at the smaller screen sizes, it works really well, but at the big one, it doesn't. So maybe instead of VH, I could actually use Vmax. So it's going to use the bigger of them. So if the height is bigger, it's going to use the height. Yeah, it looks better. There we go. Perfect. So at the Vmax, good. And let's just see. When it jumps to here, actually, I think we're going to have it disappear. But we'll worry about that in a second. So I think that is looking good. So the background itself is actually going to be controlled with this, but we will do our background size of cover. I don't know if I need to do that because I am doing the background attachment of fixed. So let's save that. I can take the pink background off. And I can come on here and do my background image is images parallax home.jpg, I think is what I called it. Yeah, I did. So there we go. We can see that the image is there and it's working. Let's go to a bigger screen size just so we can see it a little more. So there's the image. So yeah, it's giving us that type of effect where it's just sliding around in the background. And I think that looks pretty good. At the smaller screen size, we didn't really get it in, you know, the image isn't perfect. So maybe I could do as well a background position of center. Just so we can see, yeah, you still get a little bit of the effect going on. It's a bit more subtle at the smaller screen size, but that's fine. Now where this isn't going to work is what we saw before when we go into like the cell phone sizes here. So when we go to the cell phone sizes here, oh no, I have some side scrolling. iPhone 5, really? We'll have to check that out. I didn't have that before. Bizarre. We'll check that out after when we do some bug fixing at the end, I think. But what I don't want this here. This just looks kind of weird. So we're going to get rid of that. So my parallax, this is fine, but I'm actually going to do, we're going to say it's a display of none. And then at include, we're going to use our media query again. Media breakpoint up, medium. And we can take all of this stuff and put it in there. And we'll also have to add a display block. So it's going to, from this medium breakpoint and up, it's going to switch from display none to display block and get all of these. So it should disappear there. So in this, oh, and that actually fixes the side scrolling, which is weird because that's just a background image. Curious, but I'm happy it fixed it. So that will look like that. So you get your singers and then you just get into the music, which I think on a mobile device like this makes a lot more sense. And if you're wondering how I got this, I always get questions. So it's just in Chrome's inspector mode. You click this and you go into like the mobile and you can choose cell phones and stuff like that, or just go to responsive and control it this way. So now you can see that it's there. And when we cross that threshold, it's not there anymore. That's perfect. I'm happy with that. Sweet. Good. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. Let's get out of here. So I think that looks pretty nice. I don't want it to be something that really stands out. It's supposed to be something just sort of subtle, but a nice little effect there. And now on to our music. Awesome. So our music, I can actually close the parallax. So we're jumping over to our music, which I'm just going to do in the home because this is all part of my home page. So let's go and look. So I had music. Let's look in here. So I have music with a container, the display 2. So my class, I might have done this off screen actually. So just in case I did, the display 2 here is just to get the font size the same as this one. I probably should just change the H2 font size everywhere. But yeah, I probably should just change that font size everywhere, but I've started with this display 2, so I'll stick with that. So this is looking good. We have our music. Then we have all of that. We have our link here or a link with our little sort of call to action thing there. So we need to give this the dark background, a drop shadow, and just space it out a little more. So I have music and then a container inside. Okay, so let's just start with music. Margin top of 5M. When you're not sure, I'm just guessing pretty much when I say 5M and I see if it works. And if it does work, then I'm happy. And if it doesn't work, then I need to modify it. And at the same time, we'll give it a margin bottom too. Margin bottom of 5M. Good. So now I need the background on that. But I can't do the background on the music because the music is full width because it's my container inside. So this will actually also get music. I'm going to add the class music container on here. So then I can say dot music container has a background that is black. I think that's what I called it. I'll save that. I'll save this. And that should update, except it's the same color. Why is it the same color? Music. Here. Oh no, I must have set, okay, let's get out of here for a second then. I made a mistake along the way. That means, oh no, okay, custom. Let's go back to my custom thing here. I set my body's background to black, but I don't want it to be black. My body's background should actually be, you know what? That's kind of weird. I went with, so this is actually dark. So this is black. So that's what I want. These are black. So that's what I want. But when I get to here, it's a light gray and this is the dark. Aha. So does that mean I need to change a couple of things, right? So my body's background isn't black. My body's background is gray. There we go. So that looks better. So my body's background is gray, but that just updated all my colors everywhere. So this is too light now, and these are too light now. Ha, that's annoying. Okay, so what's this one? That's, I can fix that one really easily. That's my about title, about text. That's about text, right? I can just take the whole about though. I never even used it, but I have a dot about. Background is black. There we go. So that's better. These guys here though. So my band members is the whole thing, and then each one of them is a band member. So I should be able to come here and say background is black. Of course that doesn't do anything. Okay, why not? Inspect. Here, so I have a background there that it's not using. Oh, BG inverse is important for some reason. Oh, really? Okay, well, if I just take off the BG inverse, I should be okay, I think. So let's try that. The BG inverse has an important on their background color. That's kind of annoying. They should make that easier to overwrite. So let's go and find my band members. About, they're in here. They're not inside this though, they're inside this container, band member. So we'll just try with the first one. If I just take this off and save. Okay, so I can just do that and set the color that way instead. That's kind of annoying. Let's shrink that column down. Here's the next one, BG inverse. And my other column, BG inverse. Save. Okay, so my colors are falling back into line now. I think this should be darker too, but whatever. I'll leave that like that for now. This looks good. This looks good. Now I have this. Good. Now one thing, I have this drop shadow on these ones, and I want the same drop shadow on that. So we can grab this box shadow. Now I realize this could probably become a mix-in or something to make my box shadow. But I'm being a little bit lazy, so my container here can just get the same one. Shouldn't be repeating myself that way, but there we go. I have my nice drop shadow on there. The next thing I want to do is just add a little bit of padding. Padding top of, say, I don't know, 4M. No, it's going to be too big. Let's try 4M. Actually, that's not too bad at all. And so we can do the same padding bottom of 4M. Cool. Now I need some space under here, and I need some space on top of there. So let's just go and look. Music. So I have my H2 class of music title. So I'm going to grab that. Music title. So that will be a margin bottom of, I don't know, 1em. It's a big font size, so just remember it's taking that font size. See, that's even too big. So I don't know, maybe 0.5em. That's better. So I want some space on there too, right? So let's go and look at that. That's going to be down, down, down. I have my paragraph there. I think what I want to do is add a class on top of that to give me some space. So I'm going to call it class is equal to music call to action. And by using that, what I can do is have my music call to action and say margin top. I don't know. I'll try 2. You know, this is a big font size. 1em is going to be a lot of space. This is a small font size, so 2, you know, 1em is really tiny. So actually, I think that looks pretty nice and pretty balanced overall. So yeah, I'm pretty actually happy with that. Let's go nice. That's looking pretty good. And then when we go to our, let's just leave it like that for a second. When we go to our small screen sizes, let's just see what happens here. I just want to make sure it looks good because right now this is 3. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's getting, whoops, where did it go? I'm just, oh, they're stacking, right? That looks kind of ugly actually. This big wall like that, and they're not even that big. I think what I'm going to do, because I have these, if we look at my, where is it? Inside here, the container, you can see that blue space, like this empty space here and this empty space here, are because each one of these is, oops, that shows. Each one of these is a 3. So I have 3, 6, 9. So I have like a 1.5 and a 1.5 of empty space on the side there that you can see. So I think at the small screen sizes, instead of stacking this way, I'm going to keep 3, but they're just going to use up more of the available space. I think that makes more sense. So let's leave it like this so we can see what's on my screen. And this is where it's cool because you don't actually have to give it a screen size anymore. I can just say that it's a column. So at all screen sizes, it's just a column taking up whatever space is available. And then it's going to switch over to an MD3 at, well, a 3 at the medium screen size. So if you just put call, it's not actually defining anything, but it's always going to be a column. This would be the same as using like extra small. So it's always a column, and it's going to just use up all the available space. We got to do that for all of them. Call, call, call. So I'll save that, and let's see what happens. There we go. And you can see they're going right up to the edges now. And I think that looks much nicer. The space, my padding here is too big. I shouldn't have put M's actually. I should have used, just that space looks off now. That's okay. So I just want to say that my music, my padding here, instead of using M's, I probably should have used something like 5 vertical height. 5 vertical height. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe that's too small. Yeah, it's way too small. Try 15. And obviously that's way too big. So we'll go with something like 7 right in the middle. So a 7 and a 7. So that looks good at this screen size. Now what happens here? Let's go and look. It still looks pretty good. Awesome. And I did height, so even if it's a really big screen, it won't change. But if you get on something that's really tiny, for whatever reason, you can see it's adjusting a little bit, so it's using up a bit less space. Cool. I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty good, guys. So we have that nice parallax effect there, which is looking good. Then we get to the music. When we get onto the smaller screen sizes, it gives us something like that, where it's still doing that because it's just album covers. We just want it to look like, be visual, so I don't want it to be this big stacked up thing, but it just takes up more of the room so the images can stay a little bit bigger. And even at the really small screen sizes, that's fine. Cool, good, awesome. I'm really happy with that. Sweet.
And that's that section done. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions or any comments or anything like that, just don't be shy, leave one down below. And until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.